Hey guys, what's going on? It's it's AJ Morley, coming at you guys with my review for Survivor Series. Now, I know this review is a couple of days late. It's mainly due to the fact that I didn't watch the pay-per-view on the Sunday night. Um, I had a few sort of medical issues and health issues recently, and it was advised by my doctor that I shouldn't stay up till 4 a.m. every pay-per-view to watch them live, and maybe wait a day or two and then see how I feel. Pretty sound advice, I think. I do feel better for not watching it. The Monday after Survivor or any pay per view that I stay up to watch is just the worst. I'm always up super early, and it's a long day. You definitely feel it for a couple of days after. So it was solid advice, which I think I'll take from now on in. Especially if the pay per views are going to be like this one, because dearie me, it was poor. We'll get into what I thought of the pay per view a little bit later on, but the card itself was focused on the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, which was vacated 2 weeks ago by Seth Rollins when he injured his knee in a match against Kane on the WWE Live Tour overseas. Seth has torn his ACL, so he's out for 6 to 9 months. The surgery went well, and now he's in rehab. But of course, you can't go 9 months without defending the title, Brock Lesnar. so. Seth's out, the title's vacated, and we've been having a tournament to decide who was going to be the new champion. Tonight was all about the semi-finals, and we had Roman Reigns, and Alberto Del Rio against Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. Two separate matches, not a fucking tag team match, sorry. And they were the first two matches on the card, and then later on the night we had the finals. And we'll talk about that when we get to it, because it was a little bit different, as you may well have known. But let's get stuck straight into the first semi-final, which was Roman Reigns and Alberto Del Rio. Quick match, as to be expected. You want to give your guys who advance into the finals as much time to recover as possible. Reigns, of course, wins with a spear. It wasn't a bad match. It was probably one of the better matches on the card. The first two matches were the matches of the night. The rest of the card was shit. The card itself, it was poor. The pre-show, I haven't watched. I don't know who was on it. There was a traditional Survivor Series tag team match, which is really disappointing, because in any other Survivor Series, you'd have those traditional matches as the focal point of the card. But in recent years, they've just sort of let them slip, and it's not really meant as much, which is really disappointing, because Survivor Series is one of the big four pay-per-views, along with the Rumble, SummerSlam, and Mania. And to have a match that has been going since Survivor Series started, and just to push it onto a pre-show, that's bullshit. You don't want to be doing any of that. Keep it as it is. But I suppose that's the way that the company's going now. They're not too much focused on the history, and they're more focused on the future. And if the future is what it's going to be, as the pay-per-view ended, then the WWE is in a lot of fucking trouble. But yeah, I didn't watch the pre-show, so I'm not going to talk about that. But we'll talk about Reigns and Del Rio. Del Rio, as I've already said, Reigns won, but Del Rio it was good to see him back. It was cool to see him back. I'm glad he beat Cena clean for the US title. But what's he done with the US title, apart from wear it around his waist and shine it up a couple of times? The thing with John Cena was the fact that he wanted to put some integrity and some pride back into the US title, because, Dean Ambrose defended it, 6 times in 6 months, which is shocking. Kevin Owens has probably defended his Intercontinental title more times than that already. And it was really, really disappointing. So when Cena took it, beat Rusev for the title and got some integrity back into it, loses to Del Rio, the US title goes straight back to it. I've already spoken about what I felt would happen at the last pay-per-view at Night of Champions, and it's exactly what has happened, and it's really disappointing to see. So I hope Del Rio loses that title sometime soon, so someone can bring some integrity back. John Cena's meant to be back around Decemberish time for TLC or the Rumble. So I hope he beats Del Rio for the title and puts the US title back up where it belongs. And look, because unless Del Rio does something, it's just going to wrap around his waist like it's done for so long, and it's really disappointing. Another thing with Del Rio is he needs to get rid of this Mex-American stable. I wouldn't even call it that. Manager, roster, whatever you want to call it, with Zeb Coulter, because that's just not working. Zeb is not as entertaining as he was originally. He doesn't fit well with Del Rio. Del Rio was much better with Ricardo Rodriguez. Zeb on the scooter, just he just shouldn't have come back. It's a real shame, to be honest, because when he was with Swagger, it worked really well. The whole "We the People" thing was really, really cool. But what he's doing now is really, really poor, and it's sort of undermining sort of Del Rio, because he's in the ring. Del Rio's ability is fantastic, but you're going to look at outside of the ring as well, and what's being done outside of the ring is nowhere near as good as what's being done in the ring, and it's a real shame. Speaking of in the ring, the match itself, like I say, it was short. It was what it needed to be. It put Reigns over. Del Rio focused his attack mostly on the arm to stop Reigns hitting the spear, which didn't really work at the end of the match because Reigns thought, "Fuck this, I've had enough of you." Del Rio went for the cross arm breaker, and one of Del Rio's finishing moves. You're going to be in it for a while. You're going to struggle. You're going to show that you've got to fight out of it and do what you can not to give up. The World Heavyweight title's on the line. But Reigns says, "Fuck this. John Cena's not on the card. I'm going to take over from John Cena." Picks Del Rio up seconds after the arm breaker's locked in. Tries to throw him over the top rope. The referee obviously counts to 5 to try and break the hold. Del Rio then climbs up to the top rope. I presume he's going for a clothesline off the top. Reigns rolls underneath it, comes back, hits him with a spear, and covers him straight away. Where's the fucking selling? You've had your shoulder rammed into the steel post, and Del Rio kicked 7 shades out of it. And you're just going to go up and spear him like, a fly's landed on it. Fuck off, man. Reigns really needs to work on certain parts of his character, and selling is definitely one of them. But Reigns advances into the final. But who will he meet? Will he meet Will he meet Dean Ambrose? Will he meet Kevin Owens? Ooh. Well, that match was next, and for me, it was match of the night. It was brilliant. I knew these two were going to put on a great match. Ambrose always seems to sort of entertain as best as he can and puts on decent matches. Kevin Owens is one of my favourite superstars at the minute. He's really entertaining. If you haven't followed him on Twitter or any sort of social media, follow him. He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely burns people. He just owns people who try and troll him. It's really, really cool. But yeah, it was a really, really good match. It was the most popular match of the night for me, other than sort of Taker later on and the Wyatt family, because that was the second part of what Survivor Series was all about tonight, celebrating 25 years of The Undertaker. Excuse me, at Survivor Series, which is a hell of an achievement. 25 years to do anything is incredible, but 25 years to do what Undertaker does. You look at Rock, and you look at Austin, you look at Hulk Hogan, and you look at like Bret the Hitman Hart. They've all stayed within the company, but they've done other things as well. Whereas Taker has just done sports entertainment, wrestling for 25 years and longer. The dude deserves massive credit. He is a legend. Something annoyed me during the Taker match, but we'll talk about that a bit later on when I get to it. But now we're focusing on Ambrose and Owens. I would love to see a feud with these two because the match was really, really good. I said about Kevin Owens' personality sort of outside of the ring. Inside the ring, it's just as good. He hit a move on Dean Ambrose. I can't remember what it was, but he went for a count. And Ambrose kicks out of 2. So Kevin Owens, apropos of nothing, just goes, "Come on, Cone!" Just wants the referee to do it. And it's just, something different. It's something lightning. It's something fun. It's different to see, and it's refreshing to see. You don't have many characters like that in the ring. I'd argue Seth Rollins, maybe. We also had Chinlock City, because for the opening sort of 5 or so minutes, they were just feeling each other into the match, and with sort of like rest holds and things like that. So we had Chinlock City, which it was funny. There was individual moments of really funniness tonight. You had the New Day in their traditional Survivor Series match later on at night, which was funny with their speech, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The match, again, short, needed to be what it was. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too dissimilar to the Reigns and Del Rio match. And the finish was fantastic. It was amazing. Owens went for the pop-up powerbomb. Ambrose countered it. He turned around. Owens super kicked him. Owens super kicked him. I think that's what I said. I can't really remember. I've just finished like a 9-hour day at work, and I started at 5 a.m., so I'm pretty tired. Ambrose, fucking hell. Sorry. Owens super kicked Ambrose, and he went back for the slingshot clothesline. Owens super kicks him again, throws him into the ropes, goes for another pop-up powerbomb. Ambrose counters it into a Hurricanrana, hits the Dirty Deeds, and then gets the 3 count, advances to the finals, and we've got the brothers in the final. We've got Reigns, we've got Ambrose. Pretty predictable, I think. I'd love to have seen Owens in the final. I think he deserves a world title shot. He's such a good athlete. I think his time will definitely come, as will Dean Ambrose. And I think they're going to stay around sort of like the top level picture for a while now, and they deserve to, because they're really, really good entertainers. But those two go back for the night. It's Ambrose and Reigns in the final for the World Heavyweight title, and that is the main event. And that sort of will conclude that one for later. But the next match we have on the card is the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series tag team match. Now, I said earlier about having traditional matches, not like the Survivor Series one, not on the pre-show. The next step up from that is not even to announce the fucking match. It's what Survivor Series is all about, survival. And you don't even like the main focal point of a 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match is survival, and you don't include it even on the card until the last minute. Fucking hell. I mean, I said about Night of Champions having their ass backwards card. I wouldn't say this was backwards. This was sort of really well stacked, but at least announce all the matches on the card, for God's sake. Anyway, I've said before in like countless things about little things that just bug you, and it would make so much difference. But I'm not going to change Vince's mind, am I? Anyway, 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. We had the Usos, the Lucha Dragons, and Ryback versus the New Day, Wade Barrett, and Sheamus. I don't really want to talk about too much about Sheamus because I've got a bit to talk about him later. But the New Day came out after the Lucha Dragons and the New Day and the Usos, sorry, and did their sort of little speech. And there was a sort of funny moment where we had 2 funny moments. The first one was the Lucha Booties. Big E was doing a speech, trying to sort of like mock the other team. And we had the Lucha Booties, which was just fantastic. The New Day are fucking awesome. The second funny bit we had was Xavier Woods' hair. Oh my god. We had, I think was it Night of Champions or was it SummerSlam where we had the Goku chant, where he just changed his hair. This time he looked like a soul singer. He looked like he was about to drop a sick album. He looked really, really cool. It was really, really funny to see. And he gave his speech. The New Day is so cool. I've said before about they say that they do their own thing. It just comes to them when they're out in the ring. You can tell. It's a bit different. It's something funny. It keeps the crowd entertained. They do go over as a heel tag team, but they're getting a lot of followers, man. It's really, really cool to see. I'm really impressed with the New Day. I think Woods, they're not mid-card singles wrestlers. Definitely Big E and Kofi are. Xavier was never really the sort of superstar. He used to job out a fair bit. But now they find this to do. It's really, really cool. I didn't realise as well that on Monday Night Raw last night as well that they've been together a year. How far have they come in a year? 2-time WWE Tag Team Champions, probably the most over tag team that's going. It's well cool. A year, amazing stuff, man. Many years to come. I'll take my hat off to the New Day. That was really cool. But the tag team match, poor. I think this was just. I think a lot of the matches, which is just a real shame to say, but they were sort of like crowd fillers. The card, I wouldn't say it was rushed together, but it was hastily put together, this match, and you could tell, which is a shame, really, because there's some top talent in there. I remember Triple H saying on his Stone Cold podcast, I think it was, that he wants to bring back the Cruiserweight division, or looking to bringing it back. I'm up for that. Look at some of the moves that the Lucha Dragons were doing was so cool. Sin Cara and Kalisto. I'd put the Usos in there. I'd have Xavier Woods in there. I'd have a couple of the NXT guys in there. Neville. Just boost the weight up a little bit for the Cruiserweight title, and you're in. I'd happily see Neville as a Cruiserweight champion. It was one of the best divisions that WWE had at the time when it was going. You had people like Billy Kidman, Tajiri, you had Rey Mysterio, Chavo Guerrero, Shannon Moore, Matt Hardy. Even when you had the lightweight division back in the day in the Attitude Era, you had Taka Michinoku, Funaki, and like Dean Malenko, and people like that. It was really, really cool. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce his name then. But yeah, it was really cool, and I think the WWE would do well to bring it back. I think the titles that they've got now are they've been there for a while and they're a bit stale. They're either being defended every month and the same champion is keeping hold of them, or they're not being defended for ages and people forget about them. So, bring everyone back, man. I'd happily see the Cruiserweight division back, and I'm sure a lot of other people would as well. It's something to food for thought, definitely. I'd like to see Triple H take it further. Hopefully he will, because, like I say, why not? What have they got to lose? You've got superstars that would happily fight for a title. You've got superstars that happily win matches. Hey, Dolph Ziggler. I'll talk to you in a minute. Tyler Breeze is another one that could go for the title. I mean, why not, man? Bring it back. Definitely bring some freshness. Anyway, eliminations. Sorry, rambling on about Cruiserweight division. The first elimination was Wade Barrett. Sin Cara hit a swanton bomb on him and then eliminated him. The next one was Jimmy Uso, who was eliminated by Xavier Woods and the New Day. That was sort of a double team tag team move. Sorry, I've got my notes here. I can't remember off the top of my head who got eliminated. So we're reading. So we had Wade Barrett eliminated first, then Jimmy Uso, then Sin Cara got eliminated by Sheamus, who bro kicked him. Then Big E got eliminated, and this is where all the fun started. Big E got eliminated by Jey Uso with a splash off the top rope. The New Day weren't too impressed with that. Jimmy Uso. Big E was apparently hurt, so Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston took him out of the back and just walked out of the match and left Sheamus on his own. So it was Ryback, Kalisto, and Jey Uso against Sheamus, basically. But the ending, it was actually really cool. I think it was a really clever spot. However, I wouldn't say this is a small gripe. Tag team wrestling. Got to tag in, but guys, you can't have all three of you in the ring at the same time. Follow the fucking rules. Come on, ref. Bloody hell. John Cohen's been having words with you, I can tell. Jimmy Uso hit I think it was a super kick, and then Kalisto hit a move on him as well, and then Ryback followed up with a shell-shocked pin Sheamus. The faces win. Ryback, Kalisto, and Jey Uso are the sole survivors, and the winners of the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag team match. Like I say, it was a average tag team match. I wouldn't say anything other than that. I'd say the matches tonight were poor to average. There was a lot of effort with not a lot of end product, which is the way that WWE is trying at the minute. There is a lot of effort being put in. You can see the effort, but no one gives a shit. When your top guys are out, when Rollins is out, when Cena's not there, when Lesnar's not there, when Owens and Ambrose lose, when Ziggler's getting jobbed out week in, week out, it's going to affect. You can see the ratings, the third hour. Oh my word, it's going down the shitter. So many people are tuning out, and it's not going to stop unless something different changes. You need something big. You need a Mankind winning the WWE title and 600,000 fans tune in, not tune out. 200,000 fans tuned out last Monday night for the third hour. 200,000 fans because they're not enjoying what they're seeing. There was a Q&A on Twitter afterwards with someone, Road Dogg, that was who it was, who's just there like, I love the product. You've got to keep watching it. Just try it. And you could tell it was forced. He's just trying to get fans to stay for that third hour. And they just don't want to. They just really don't want to. And I can hardly blame them, because what Raw is putting out at the minute is garbage. It summed Raw up last week when they were talking about Paige's dead brother. And afterwards, it was they all came out and just said, we told her not to put that in. We told her not to put it in. And it was the main event on Raw. No problem with the Divas main eventing. I think Trish Stratus came out and said that it's not long before they main event pay-per-views. Happily see that. But if you're bringing up dead relatives who have only just died, or not only just died, but it's still fresh, probably not the direction to go if you're trying to win fans back. You know what I'm saying? But sorry, I digress again. We'll talk about the Divas in a minute because their match was next. But yeah, the tag team match, it wasn't great. It was a standard tag team match because it was a 5-on-5. There was no, with traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, you have huge, you have big eliminations, but you have really fast ones. And this one just seemed very methodically paced. It just seemed very structured, and it just wasn't there, and it wasn't great. There was nothing really that the crowd got into. The crowd weren't particularly hot all night. There was only a few moments where they were really hot. and it's the way it's going, and it ain't going to improve unless something big changes. And Vince and Triple H, I can imagine trying furiously to get things to change. And you can tell that the passion that Vince has and the passion that Triple H has, that they want the best for the company, but they can't get the best for the company if they're not listening to the fans. But a fan's going to change Vince's mind? Probably not. You know how egotistical that bloke is. But one thing I suppose is good to see is the Divas are getting a lot more attention, and the next match on the card was Charlotte versus Paige for the WWE Divas Championship. I don't want to say they tried, because that's shitting on the Divas, but they bust their ass and the crowd didn't give a shit. And you get more excited watching it if the crowd are into it. And if you can hear the crowd talking and there's no chants going on, you ain't going to care. You're just going to think, oh, well, that's another match. I'll tune in and out when I'm not busy. But they tried really hard. It wasn't a great match. It was a standard singles match. It all was revolving around Paige and her sort of jealousy over the fact Charlotte's got the Divas title, and she's the daughter of Ric Flair, and this, that, and the other. Quick word on Paige. She's boosted her her tatty bojangles, shall we say. They are looking good grief. To say that I remember John Cena doing a rap on The Rock over the their feud a couple of years ago, and he said that The Rock's had more work than a locker room full of divas. Well, you can add Paige to that list, because she has had some serious work done to the chestal region, shall we say. I'm not the only one to notice it. I was looking at Twitter before I started watching Survivor Series, and a lot of people commented it with a few pictures. There was a before and after, and it was just sort of like, Jesus. So yeah, Paige's ego was sort of shot up and been pushed out and got bigger. However, her work in the ring hasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a great match. I'm not, as much as I love seeing the NXT Divas being promoted up, I'm not a fan of Charlotte. I think her whole gimmick is similar to Curtis Axel in the fact that she's got a really famous dad and not a lot else going for her. Her personality is not great. Her mic work is solid. It's not, I wouldn't say spectacular. It's not something that's going to catch your eye and be like, well, hold on a second, that's pretty different. And it's a bit disappointing. You look at Sasha Banks, the boss. Where is she? Oh, I'd kill to see Sasha Banks on a pay-per-view. Becky Lynch, even, get the Irish. She's pretty cool. Let's get her in. I just don't think Charlotte's got a Divas champion personality, but then neither did Nikki Bella, and she had the title for 300 days. And it's a bit disappointing. Paige has got a bit of personality about her. She's the cocky, she's arrogant, she thinks this is my house. No, it isn't. Stop saying that. Fucking hell. She must have said it about 30 times during the match, and it pissing me off. Bloody hell. It might well be your house, but you don't need to tell everybody every 30 minutes. It's so frustrating. But she's different. She's the total contrast to Charlotte, and that's what you want as a champion. You want someone who's got that spark and just that something that's going to grab your attention, and I just don't think Charlotte's got that. It's really, really disappointing. Finish was... I didn't like the finish, mainly because... sorry, never mind the finish. I'll talk about the sloppy spear spot. There was a bit where Paige was dominating the match. I have light bulbs just pop into my head every so often, and they come at the worst moment because I'm halfway through talking about something and something else pops up and I've got to go and talk about this before I get back to this, and it's really frustrating, so I'm really sorry. But the spear spot, Paige was celebrating on the barrier with a fan like being egotistical and this is my house. No, it isn't. Paige, I don't know why, but she was up there for about a minute. Now, if you stop for a minute, and if I was stood here with this video for a minute with silence, you'd all fucking turn off. But she was there for about a minute, just arms up in the air, people taking photos with her. All of a sudden, after about a minute, Charlotte thinks, well, you've been up there long enough. Hops onto the apron, tries to run across it, and spears Charlotte off the barrier. Spears Paige off the barrier. Sorry, it was a really sloppy spot, mainly because A, divas don't do spots like that very often, and B, Charlotte is not Jeff Hardy. She's not going to run across the barrier and fucking spear Paige off it. She's not Edge and Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania. So that was a really sloppy spot. I didn't really like that. It was a bit, the crowd didn't care for it either. If it was meant to be the big spot of the match, then it didn't work. So that was really disappointing. But the finish, we'll get to the finish now. I've talked about the spot. We'll get to the finish. Charlotte locked in the figure eight. And Paige was sort of like screaming, trying to fight the pain and stuff. As soon as Charlotte bridged the figure eight as to like how she does it to make her put more pressure onto it, Paige just stopped and was silent. And after like about 20 seconds tapped out. Surely you'd put more emphasis on the screaming when the bridge comes up rather than when she's just put the figure four in. No? Or is that just me being sensible? It was a really weird way, and it took a lot out of the finish, really, because also Paige was quite near the ropes, and you think you just got the rope. But, so the positioning of it was poor. The finish was poor. The reaction from the divas was poor. It wasn't really a great night, to be perfectly honest. But the divas, they're getting higher up the card, and it's really good to see. They're getting full entrances as well. Top stuff. The champion came out last. Always a bonus. So yeah, the divas they're going slowly. It's slow. You had the whole Divas Revolution with Nikki Bella. That went well. But now Nikki's not on telly, Brie's not on telly. The divas that want the attention are getting the attention, and they're getting the attention they deserve. And it's awesome. Excuse me again. They will main event pay-per-views again. Next year, possibly. But you've got to put Becky Lynch up there. You've got to put Sasha Banks up there. Because they've got that character that will grab people's attention and make them want to be champion. Look at Daniel Bryan. Sasha Banks, this is going to sound stupid, but bear with me. Sasha Banks could be the female Daniel Bryan. She could be so over because her character and her personality just resonates. I'm not saying it's the same as people who watch the product, but it's a character that's different. She thinks she is the boss, and when she goes out there, she'll prove it. She'll kick anyone's ass on that Raw division. Alicia Fox, to Charlotte, Paige, she'll kick all their asses. Just give her a chance. Give Cesaro a chance. Push Ziggler. Push the stars that want to be pushed. Just give them a chance, man. Come on, Vince. I've told you before, you watch this, give those superstars a chance. Last time, it was, who did I say it was last time? I can't remember who it was. I told Vince to push someone. You have to go back and watch it. But now I'm telling you to push Sasha Banks. So fucking listen. Anyway, the next match on the card was Tyler Breeze against Dolph Ziggler. This is Tyler Breeze's main pay-per-view debut. Debuted on SmackDown, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, I keep moving my camera as well. I'm trying to get comfy. So pay-per-view, Tyler Breeze's main pay-per-view debut. And my notes, as you can see here, that I've got for Tyler Breeze against Dolph Ziggler sums up Ziggler's career. This match was bloody awful. Dolph Ziggler, I posted this on Twitter. He came out, I don't know if any of you have heard of Steel Panther, like a glam rock band. They're fucking funny as well. You go see a live show, they're incredible. But he came out with like studs everywhere on his jacket, on his trousers. He was dressed like 1996 is Shawn Michaels, but he wrestles like the 2013 Divas. Jesus Christ. No wonder he took to Twitter the other week to vent for some frustration, because he was pissed off. And I can't blame him. He's a former world champion and you're treating him like this. Have a look. Fucking hell. Tyler Breeze wins with the, I presume it's a kill switch. It looked like that, Christian's finishing move. When he was a wrestler. I think he still is. I don't know. He's gathering dust in the locker room, I think. But Tyler Breeze looked good. Real good. The whole thing, again, is with, Summer Rae now having Tyler Breeze rather than Dolph Ziggler, even though she was never with Ziggler. She was with Rusev. And Summer Breeze is going to fuck her way around the locker room until Dolph Ziggler takes her back. By the looks of things, that would be a storyline and a half. Summer Rae coming out of every man's locker room just to try and piss off Dolph Ziggler. Oh my god, that'd be incredible. But yeah, Ziggler's just getting buried, man. It wouldn't surprise me if he left, and I wouldn't blame him. It wouldn't blame me if him and Cesaro left. Cesaro is world championship material. Dolph Ziggler's a former world champion, and you're just treating him like that. No. I'm not saying I could run the product better, but do something better with him. Fucking hell. Go after bloody Del Rio's US title. Go after Kevin Owens' Intercontinental title. Do something different. Don't just job out to Tyler Breeze. Jesus Christ. It was quite interesting as well that I also know that Tyler Breeze will be Dolph Ziggler in a couple of years. Guarantee it. I love the gimmick. The gimmick is awesome, but they're too similar. And I guarantee in a couple of years, Tyler Breeze will be Dolph Ziggler. Anyone else who tries to sort of argue with me, feel free. But I guarantee you, Tyler Breeze will be Dolph Ziggler. Too similar. What's the word? Egos. Yeah, egos is what I'm trying to think of. I was trying to think of a word for egotistical, but that is the word. Two similar egos. They're very similar styles. They both think they're amazing. It's disappointing. It's really disappointing to see. But I'm glad Tyler Breeze is on the main roster. He's a really, really good wrestler. He was really, really good on NXT, but he never really given that chance. So it's good to see that he's been given a chance in WWE, and he'll probably take it. It's a good start, beating Ziggler in your first pay-per-view, former world champion. Kevin Owens did it as well. So, look, interesting to see where the WWE take Tyler Breeze. But for Dolph Ziggler, he'll back to be like jobbing to Sin Cara on Monday Night Raw, or to Titus O'Neil on Superstars, or something ridiculous like that. But anyway, enough of Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler. Let's move on to one of the first of, I'd say, argued two main events of the night. It was the Brotherhood of Destruction. It was Undertaker and Kane against the Wyatt family. This is a match that stemmed from Night of Champions when Wyatt's beat the shit out of the Undertaker after a Hell in a Cell match with Brock Lesnar. It was they did the same to Kane the night after. Sorry, I'm trying to think then. I'm too tired. I shouldn't be making this video. But Wyatt, it was the Wyatt family came out, and they chose Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt, which was probably the right team to choose. I wouldn't have chose Strowman because he's still portrayed as a monster that just won't be beaten. Eric Rowan tried to start but got double chokeslammed and then disappeared. I don't know where the fuck he went. That must have been a heavy chokeslam. Start the match, but before we get into the match, I've got to say Undertaker's entrance, man. Wow. It's annoying that it takes so long, and I get the fact it takes so long, but it took about a good 10 minutes. But it was so good. It went. They had like a graphic on the screen above Taker of what he's looked like over the 25 years of Survivor Series. It was really cool. WWE sort of like production things and videos and video packages are incredible. Whoever puts them together needs a serious pay rise because they do a hell of a job. But yeah, it was Undertaker and Kane against Wyatt and Harper. A standard tag match, nothing really special. It was just to put sort of Undertaker over with his big moves. One thing I will say is that people who chant "You still got it" to the Undertaker, you can fuck off. He's not. Okay, I get the fact he's coming to the end of his career, but it's not the end of his career. He's not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's not Rowdy Roddy Piper. He's not what is his name? Like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, or Bob Backlund. That's the one I was thinking of. He doesn't come back for. I know he comes back every now and again for appearances, but he's wrestled so much since WrestleMania. So the "You Still Got It" chant, shut the fuck up. He's never lost it. The guy's a legend. But yeah, that really annoyed me. But apart from that, it wasn't a bad match. I'm going to constantly talk about the Wyatts being shit on because Bray is fucking incredible, and he's just not getting anything for it. Carrying feuds and losing most of them, 9 out of 10, probably he's lost now, and it's just getting silly. I think him and Owens will be a really good feud as well. Really, really good feud. Bray Wyatt and Owens for the Intercontinental title. Wyatt needs a singles title. The Wyatt family need to go back to being dominant. So Wyatt goes after a mid-card title. The Intercontinental title, I think, would suit Wyatt. The tag team titles need to go back to the Wyatts as well. And they just need like a dominant streak in them. And I think that would be really cool. I don't think that it will happen anytime soon, which is a real shame. But it would be nice to see. Because Bray needs something different. It's, there's a singles run, it wasn't great. You saw what happened when he lost to Taker at Mania and things like that. It was, it's really not going well for the bloke, and I feel really sorry for him. I really do, because it's shit, to be perfectly honest. But the match itself, like I say, a standard tag team match. There was interference from Strowman, and whenever Harper was in the ring, Wyatt would interfere and whatnot. Strowman's interference didn't really get him much apart from double chokeslam through the Spanish announce table. Funny part of the match was when Strowman had enough of Michael Cole's commentary and launched fucking Kane straight into him. It was really quite funny. You didn't hear Michael Cole for about 5 minutes, and it was probably the best part of the commentary of the night. Kane got fucking launched into him. Strowman's a big guy. I'm not a fan of the character. He looks like a 14-year-old who's had a rough winter. His facial hair looks like it's been stuck on. It just doesn't. It just doesn't click with me. Like Harper, Rowan, and Wyatt are sick, and it's really, really cool. But it just looks like, I know it says like Strowman's like the black sheep of the family, and I get that, but it just doesn't look like it fits, and it could hinder the Wyatt family. There's a future potential push for a tag team title. I don't want to sort of make that sound like a prediction, but I just don't think he fits. There's just something about him that I'm not overly sure about. It's a bit disappointing, really, because he's built as a monster, but as soon as John Cena probably comes and fucking buries him in 2 minutes, that'll be the end of him. But yeah, he got double chokeslam through the Spanish announce table. That was a pretty cool moment. But The Undertaker and Kane win. Double chokeslam on Harper. On Wyatt, sorry. Both did a chokeslam each. And then Taker, Tombstone, Harper, gets the 3 count. The Brothers of Destruction win. Obviously, that was going to happen. There was no fucking way Taker was not going to win on the 25th anniversary of Survivor Series for him. He is a legend. I think it'll be his last one. I think Mania will be his last one, and I think he'll retire after that. The guy is a legend, and that's all that needs to be said about him. Kane is a legend as well, but looking at how Kane's career has gone to where The Undertaker's has gone, Undertaker is the legend and the only legend. Both are Hall of Famers. It wouldn't surprise me if Taker went in this year coming, next year if you like. But we're going to have to wait and see on that one. But the Brothers of Destruction pick up the win, and we only have one match left on the card, and it is the World Heavyweight Championship Finals. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose, the Blood Brothers, the Brothers of the Shield, the guys who've always had each other's backs, put on a really disappointing match. What else can I say? It was poor, real poor. For the time given, it must have gone just short of 10 minutes. Must have. Both kicked out of each other's finishers. It was just a really, really weird match. Like, they both started like beating the crap out of each other. And then Reigns hit the spear first. Sorry, the Superman punch. Ambrose kicks out. Reigns hit the spear. Ambrose kicks out. Ambrose's Dirty Deeds. It was a perfect Dirty Deeds as well. Reigns kicks out. And then they just started beating the crap out of each other. Obviously, I know they had to show like fatigue, but you've had 2.5 hours to recover, for Christ's sake. You're not that fucking tired. You only went 15 minutes a match. So yeah, they both started beating the shit out of each other. Ambrose got the upper hand, put Reigns in the corner, ran to the other corner, bounced off the turnbuckle. Reigns flies in, spear, gets a 3 count. Reigns is the World Heavyweight Champion. Finally. But Reigns' title lasts about 5 minutes. Reigns wins the title, the pyro's going off, the confetti is coming down. A side note, talking about confetti, I just sort of reminded myself, how much did the WWE spend on confetti? Fucking hell. They spend so much money on like pointless things, like the size of the when they had the Dusty Rhodes NXT Classic Tag Team Tournament, the size of that trophy, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy, pyro and confetti. The four things they clearly spent all their money on, because the amount of confetti that came down was ridiculous. It could have drowned Roman Reigns. It was all on the floor. The ring was covered. It was a really, you knew something was going to happen, because when the fuck do you have confetti come down? I know it was to crown a new champion, and obviously at Mania you had Seth Rollins doing it, but that's WrestleMania. Don't fucking do it at Survivor Series. So you knew something big was going down. Triple H then comes out to sort of congratulate Roman Reigns. And if you remember a couple of weeks ago on Raw, Triple H said, if you join the Authority, I'll give you a free pass into the tournament. I'll give you the title myself, and you don't have to face anyone. Reigns was like, nah, fuck that. I've got to do it for my people. Who booed him out of the building tonight again. It was quite funny. So Triple H went to shake his hand. Reigns was having none of that. Went to walk away, dropped the title, speared Triple H, and then out of nowhere, fucking Sheamus comes in, bro kicks Roman Reigns, cashes in Money in the Bank, goes to pin Reigns. Reigns kicks out. Reigns runs the ropes, goes for a spear, but Sheamus counters it back into a bro kick. 3 count. Sheamus is now your new fucking World Heavyweight Champion. And oh my God, I hope this doesn't last long. Because after that, Triple H shook Sheamus' hand. Sheamus is now presumably part of the Authority and is the World Heavyweight Champion. What the fuck is going on? Seth, can you come back a bit sooner than 9 months, please, mate? Because we fucking need you. Oh, dearie me. What can I say? Nobody wanted Reigns as the champion. Nobody wants Sheamus as the champion. Who do you want, people? I'd much rather have Reigns than Sheamus. Reigns' emotion, I have to say, was just on point. He was crying when he won the world title. You could see he was crying afterwards when Sheamus had beaten him for it. Reigns made that look really, really cool. Swimming amongst all the confetti. But Sheamus is new World Heavyweight Champion. I just have to say as well, it's the third time in 6 months the Reigns has been screwed out of the title. At WrestleMania, Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank, pinned him. At Money in the Bank, Bray Wyatt stopped him from winning the World Heavyweight title, the contract. And now Sheamus cashes in to bro kick him out of the World Heavyweight title. It's the third time in 6 months. It's also Roman Reigns is now the first person ever to be pinned 2 consecutive years. In the same year by 2 consecutive Money in the Bank winners. That's pretty different. That's something different. It's almost as if Vince is going, I really want Reigns as my champion, but I'm going to fuck everyone over, and including Roman Reigns, until I'm ready for him to be champ. It's obviously saved for something big. Like the big one will be WrestleMania. I know I said in my last one that it'll probably be the Royal Rumble, but it'll be bigger. I think Reigns will win the Rumble and then go on to Mania. And that wouldn't really surprise me. It really wouldn't, because it would be the fitting one. It would be the fitting end. It would be the one that Roman wants and the one that Vince wants. But we saw last night on Monday Night Raw that Sheamus versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title in a TLC match is next. There's something to look forward to. Good grief. But the pay-per-view closes 20 minutes before the end of 11 o'clock, which is a regular habit that WWE have at the minute of finishing pay-per-views early with nothing really sort of big coming out of it. Obviously tonight was a bit different. But yeah, that's Survivor Series. Probably one of the worst for years. One of the worst pay-per-views this year. The matches were poor. The card wasn't even finished. It was very rushed. The matches weren't great. Like I said, the match of the night for me was Ambrose and Kevin Owens. That was the second match of the night. And I wouldn't say that was great, but it was better than what the rest of the matches had on offer. It was a really disappointing pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to TLC. I always have done since the TLCs came out at WrestleMania and then they branched out into their own pay-per-view. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be good. Probably, Sheamus and Reigns might surprise us. Might put on a 5-star banger. Probably not, but there's where there's hope. John Cena is scheduled to return as well, so hopefully the card. Well, it can be harder, but the card will be stronger than what we had tonight. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. I'll put my Twitter link on the bio at the end of this when I've said goodbye. Follow me, like my video, share my video, subscribe to my channel for more of that WWE goodness. In a couple of weeks, I will be doing if anyone's into football, I'll be doing a mid-season football review and also Euro 2016 review as well. So I've got that coming up in a couple of weeks, which will be super cool. As much as I love pro wrestling, I am obsessed with football. And we'll talk about football until my ears go blue and I pass out. So that's something for you to look forward to. I probably will be out of my bedroom as well. I will record a video in another room just to keep it a bit fresh, keep you guys ready. But thank you very much for watching, guys. My name's Alex. I'm out. Thank you for watching. See ya!